When riding off-road, one of the most important things is to be able to lift your bike. The adventure bikes nowadays are very heavy. My bike has a standard 208 kilos plus accessories plus other gadgets. It reaches about 220 kilos. There are bikes that are even heavier, so I think when you're riding off-road, it's very important to be able to lift by yourself the bike, no matter where the bike will eventually fall down. We have a small uphill over here, so the bike it's somehow in this position. We need to test how we will be able to lift the bike and how many times we will be able to lift the bike, because maybe you will not succeed from the first attempt, or maybe you are forced to lift your bike many times, not only one time, maybe 5 times, maybe 10 times. So I would like to test this to see how many times actually can I lift my bike until my stamina will go down. And I would like to see now, if I lean the bike on the left, on the right side, what parts are actually exposed to damage. The reason why I'm doing this training of lifting the bike, is because I would like to be prepared for any situation that may occur regarding lifting the bike. Now I'm in a control environment. I use, let's say, a control surface. My bike is here. Maybe you have someone with you that can help you lift the bike in case you are not able to lift it. So I'm training now. I'm gonna use different techniques, and hopefully the next time I will be put in the situation of lifting the bike. I have this training, I know what to expect. And now it's the moment of truth. Let's put down the bike. Okay. All right. Imagine that the bike will not fall down so easily. It could be an impact. And let's see. I put it down also my NC750X, but this one is different, I must say, because it's bigger, it's higher, it's longer, and yeah, I have to say, all right.
Just check it out, guys. The bike is down and we need to lift it. First of all, let's see the upper crash bar and the engine guard. The bike is sitting on those, and you can see here the foot peg is bent. Now it's a little bit inside the soil. It entered in the soil. We have the lever protected. You see there is a distance between the lever and the ground, so I'm really happy about that. It would have been better to have this mobile, this end. You can see there are about 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. Let's check out the other sides. We have on the back side the chain, it's very high, it's protected. The central stand is not touching. The central stand is also not touching the ground, but it stays on the back side on the pillion foot peg. Let's give it a look. This is the front side and we have to check it out. From what I can see, I was expecting that the hand guards would touch the ground, but as you can see in this position, there is movement on the handlebar, so the handlebar didn't touch the ground as I would have expected, because also the leaning position was not the one. So I didn't lean the bike with the handlebar on the ground, so I just left it with the handlebar twisted to the left side. Therefore there is plenty of movement here, and the bike stays on the crash bar. Let's check out here. All right, so there is this pillion foot peg, which is quite important. It would have been interesting to have an accessory or a protection mounted exactly where the pillion foot peg is, to take over some of the impact forces. You can see the engine is very well protected by the crash bars. The rest of the backside, it's up, doesn't touch the ground. Also here on the rear wheel, you can check it out. Yes, indeed. I'm quite happy about the result. For the left side, I'm quite happy so far. We can also inspect a little bit the bike if we are still here. So yeah, we can inspect the bike. The skid plate and everything looks perfect. It's the first time I'm seeing my bike down. Hopefully I will see it only in this controlled environment, or you never know, man. When you're riding off-road, you never know what to expect. You never know what's gonna happen, and you really need to be prepared to lift your bike, to maneuver your bike. You know, we are in this environment. Check it out. We have hills, we have grass. You really need to be prepared. You really need to somehow be able to lift your bike, to maneuver your bike in this environment. Now I'm gonna try to lift the bike. I have to lift the bike. I have no other options. So yeah, let's see how heavy it is, and let's see how difficult it is to lift my bike.
When you are on this type of environment, you have to be able to lift your bike, and you never know when it's gonna happen, but sooner or later it will happen, and you must be prepared for that. Lifting your bike, I think it's among the first thing which you need to try, which you need to test in a controlled environment, so you will be not surprised when you have this incident on your rides. Now let's give it a try. I will try to lift the bike from this side. We have a slight uphill on the left. It's the uphill, so I need to put more effort. This is good because I really like to test this one. Lifting the bike presumes some technique. My favorite one is the one with the back, so I need to go with the back and push it with my legs. But also I'm gonna try also the technique of lifting the bike from here. Let me check. Okay, so I have some movement, I have some, okay. This technique, it's I think it's more difficult, and you use too much force for your back. Of course, there are some pre-checks which you need to do even before you start lifting the bike. One of the pre-check is to make sure that the bike will not go downhill. Therefore, it's important to put the bike in the first gear. In my case, the bike is not in the first gear, so I need to struggle a little bit to put it in the first gear, so I will block the rear wheel from spinning and prevent going downhill. And another thing, when you lift the bike, it's very important. Now we have the side stand on the left side, but it's very important when you lift the bike to prevent the bike from going on the other side, on the right side. So you lift it, maybe you put some effort to lift the bike, therefore the bike will go on the other side, and then you have another fall. You need to lift it again, and you risk again to damage maybe your bike, depending on the surface which the bike fell in. So I'm gonna try different techniques. Some will work, some will not work. The one which is this one, you can see I can even rotate the bike, but consider that I'm rotating the bike on the pillion foot peg. We are on this soil, on the soft soil, but if you are on the asphalt, then lifting the bike or rotating the bike might damage actually the parts. In this situation, it's very difficult for me to have the pressure to lift it, and I also risk to damage my back, because you know I would like to make it the easiest way possible in order to preserve my energy. Imagine if I'm lifting the bike many times my energy will be very low, and then I will have issues continuing my trip. I'm gonna try to lift it with the other technique, the one which I've used for the Honda NC 750X. The Honda NC 750X had the center of gravity quite low, and it was not a pain to lift it. Let's check out with the same technique what will happen with the Honda Transalp. Okay, wow, you see what's happening? You saw it. The rear wheel rotated and actually made my job quite difficult. Now we have the bike in a position of downhill, and it will be even difficult now. So I really need to put it in the first gear somehow. I press the clutch, and let's hope it's now in the first gear. I would like to use my legs, you know, but the environment, it's totally different. You need to consider also the environment. We have wet grass, it's morning, the grass is wet, it's slippery. Right on. Yes, come on. Whew. All right, now I somehow secured the bike. All right, I lift it. All right, now I need to change the position. Now I control the bike. I've lifted and I put it back in the same position. The rear wheel was not blocked. I was not able to block the bike in the first gear. Okay, let me remember you that we are in a slight uphill. Whew. I did it, but I've used a significant amount of energy now. I was using a significant amount of energy, and imagine that you need to do this maybe one after another. So let me see. Okay, so now I finally blocked the rear wheel. Now the bike is in the first gear, and I'm more let's say more secure that I can lift it afterwards. You don't know in which gear you'll be when the bike will fall. Normally maybe you are in a second gear because you're riding off-road in a second gear. In the first gear, you never know. You could be in the third gear. Therefore you need to go back, in my opinion, and place your bike in the first gear. Another skill or another exercise which I think is very important, and somehow it's related with this lifting the bike, it's keeping the bike balanced from the ground. I mean, it could be an exercise just rolling around the bike with you know, keeping the bike steady, and make a 360 surround the bike, you know, something like this, because you need to know the bike's weight. You need to learn how the bike weight is working. When the bike is perfectly straight, the weight of the bike, it's you can keep it actually with one finger. Check it out. So I can keep the bike, check it out, 220 kilos. I can keep it with one finger. Why? Because the bike, it's in its best position to have the less weight. And now we're moving around the bike, and make a 360. The crash bars are very helpful, but imagine you will have this type of situations no matter what. You will be placed in such situations, maybe on an uphill, maybe you need to round the bike, maybe you're on the downhill, maybe you're on a swamp, you're on the off-road, somewhere remote. You need to move, to go in different directions, and I think it's very important to be able to surround the bike. This is a very good exercise. Do it as much as you can, and try to keep the bike balanced. If you're not paying attention, the bike will go on the opposite side, and then you're gonna feel the weight. We are in the first gear. The bike is secure. I would like to put it on the right side and see what's happening. I'm somehow in a better position, in a position which I will lift the bike from, and I will try to, you know, leave it gently. All right. Ooh. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Whew. Now the bike, it's on the right side. Let's go check it out.
Now is the time to check out the eventual damage, or the eventual possible damage. Now on the right side, the handlebar took over some of the pressure. I'm not able to move the handlebar anymore, although it's in the same position, in the same twisted to the right. It was twisted to the left when I put it on the left side. Now it's twisted to the right, and you can see now the energy it's taken over by the right handlebar. Let's check out underneath what's happening. All right, the crash bars, very protective. It's the bike, it's on the crash bars right now. And let's go on the other side, because I see a good thing also. The brake lever, it's not touching the ground, it's protected. Of course, the right foot peg, the rally foot peg, it's bent, which is how it's supposed to be, and the brake lever doesn't touch the ground. This is about the front side. Let's check out here the wheel. All right, this is the front side. The crash bars are protecting as is expected. No damage to the front fender. The front fender doesn't even touch the ground. And here on the bottom, let's check it out. So we have the foot peg bent, but it's somehow was sticked to the ground. One of the most important parts of this bike is the exhaust. The exhaust, let's check it out. On the end part, it doesn't touch the ground. I have plenty of space to put my hand on, but I think this part somehow touches the ground. This front pipe, the front part of the end pipe, it's touching, but not much. There is not too much pressure. Therefore, an exhaust which is higher positioned and more to the frame, sticks to the frame. You saw my video regarding the exhaust options for the Honda Transalp. I think an exhaust which is more fitted to the bike and in the upper position would have been very helpful in case of a fall on the right side. So this is the bike, guys, on the felt on the right side. You can check it out. You can check out how it is and what are the actual parts which are touching the ground. You can check out from this angle. Yes, this is it. So with this one, you know what to expect. You need to know what to expect, to have no surprises. And yeah, it's very important. Find a place in your hometown and make this exercise, because it's very, very useful. You know what to expect. you know what to expect from your bike. This is my Honda Transalp 750. Now it has about 220 kilos, but I have the petrol tank almost empty, so let's say 210 kilos more or less. And imagine you have a heavier bike, or imagine you're like we are on a slight uphill. You can check it out. This is where we came from. From down there we are on this top of the hill somehow, and this is the bike. This is the bike felt on the right side. We will inspect also what's happening after we lift it. What's very important, it's again securing the rear wheel. You can see now the rear wheel, it's not spinning, it's blocked, it's in the first gear. And yeah, this will also add some security. This is also important to secure your bike.
Now it's time to lift the bike, and let's see how easy it is now, or how difficult it is with the first gear on. The rear wheel is blocked. We are on a slightly uphill. Let's give it a try. It's very important that your bike have these racks on the rear side, because otherwise you will not be able to catch it and put some effort on it. All right. Okay. Okay, I lift it in this position. This is the intermediate position. All right. I think it was a little bit easier now, because I have the bike secured. The bike is secured on the rear, and it was a little bit easier now. Another thing which I didn't consider, it's putting on the side stand. Now I don't have any side stand, but I'm gonna use the exercise before to reach the side stand. I have it here. I straighten up. Be careful not to put too much pressure on the back, otherwise the bike will go on the other side. So we have the bike secured. Okay, and then with the other technique, I go there to put the side stand. And this is it.
All right, we have the bike lifted, and it's interesting to check it out what eventual damage could occur if you're leaning on the right side. So let's start with the exhaust, because it's one of the most exposed. The exhaust touched the ground on this area, so this was the surface where the exhaust touches, and a little bit on this side, but that's it, nothing more. So I think a better exhaust for this type of riding, for the off-road riding, will be an exhaust that it's somehow in this position and a little bit towards the frame, towards the frame of the bike. So you're gonna have more clearance in this side when your bike will go on the right side. And in this way you are protecting the frame, because you have this bracket which is holding the complete exhaust assemble. And of course you risk somehow to damage these weldings which are keeping the bracket in place. And not only the exhaust, so not only the exhaust is exposed, but the other parts of the bike. The rest is very protected. We have the engine guards, but we have here the area of the engine which is somehow open, but this is according to your riding surface. You might hit with some rocks here if you have rocks on the surface, but Hebco & Becker has also some protection for this side. I will consider having a protection in this part, or somehow to cover a little bit the right side of the engine. Acerbis handguards, they did quite a good job on protecting the brake lever. You might want to consider tidying them up very good, otherwise they can go up, you know, through the force of impact. They might move their position. Same for the left one, you know, you need to tidy it up much better. Yeah, this was in terms of damage, eventual damage. The brake lever is protected. very important to have this foldable foot peg, a different position for the exhaust. The rest of the parts are very well protected by the crash bar, engine guard, skid plate. All right, so we've lifted the bike, we put it down, we've lifted a couple of times. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially if you're tired, if you're having a riding day, and this happens at the end of your trip, at the end of your ride, when your body feels exhaust and you have not so much stamina left. We did it, and the next step will be to lift up the bike in another environment, maybe with more difficult situations, maybe with rocks, with mud, maybe lifting the bike from a river, who knows. We're gonna encounter such challenges during our trips, during our rides, and it's better to know what to expect at least, and to know how to react. I had to lift the bike because I fell with it on the right side by trying to steer with a rear brake, trying to steer left with a rear brake. I had too much speed, and then I need to lift the bike this time from the right side. And it was very helpful that previously I already saw how it is. I checked the bike's weight, I know what to expect, I know what technique to use, and it was very useful.